Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to have you guys back. I have a really cool video for you guys today. It's Chile Chipotle with chicken. You can make this recipe with pork and with beef. It's going to taste delicious, but today we're gonna do it with chicken. And I'm choosing to use it with chicken thighs. And there's going to be a lot of shortcuts, variations, and different ingredient quantities for you to try based on how spicy you guys like your food. So let's get started. I'm so excited for you guys to see this video. So this is kind of like my little line item of all of my ingredients that I have for you. I will have a list of all of the ingredients at the end of the video. We are trying new filming techniques to see what works better for us and what's more better for you guys. So stay tuned. So for my Chile Chipotle recipe, I'm going to be using chicken thighs. And for my chicken thighs, I'm going to be adding some olive oil and I'm going to be adding some salt. And that's it. I'm gonna rub a little bit of the salt, and a little bit goes a long way, so don't put too much. This is the only olive oil that I'm gonna be using during the entire recipe, and the only salt that I'm going to be using for the entire recipe as well. So just make sure that your chicken is nice and cleaned. If you don't wanna use chicken thighs because they're really fatty, you can use chicken breasts, you can use chicken legs, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you like to use. I personally like to use the chicken thighs. The dark meat is a little bit more flavorful in my opinion. So that's why I use the chicken thighs a lot. So you wanna make sure that when you start your recipe, you wanna make sure your pan is really hot. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to basically fry up or sear our chicken. And we're going to put it skin side down so that the chicken skin can get nice and crispy. Now, you don't have to do this process if you're going to boil your chicken. If you're going to boil your chicken, it's a lot faster when it comes down to the sauce. But I prefer to do it this way because of the next step that we're going to go into in a little bit. But for now, let's stay with the chicken. So the chicken, as you can see, is face down. Your pot needs to be really hot in order for this to work. Otherwise it's gonna stick, kind of like my little piece is stuck a little bit. The chicken is not going to be fully cooked during this process. Just keep that in mind. You are going to see the chicken be a little bloody, and that's perfectly fine. All you want is for the chicken to get like a crispy exterior, and that's pretty much it. So don't get freaked out if you see too much blood. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of my chicken. And again, putting the skin side down. And I wanna say it's probably about 1 minute to 2 minutes on each side before I take it off of my pan and then I set it aside. While this is happening, the pan is getting all these crispies and the chicken fat on the pan, and these are all of the things that we need for our sauce to have that really good chicken flavor. So it's okay if your chicken kind of gets stuck. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my doggy in the background. Odin likes to stand right next to us while we're filming. But if he was here, he would also say hello. Now, during this process, of course, you guys can see that, my tomatoes and onions are already cut, but obviously you guys can go ahead and start getting your prep ready. And I'm gonna be using Roma tomatoes and a white onion. I don't recommend using the red onion. I love red onion, but that's more for toppings in my opinion. The white onion is recommended better for when you're cooking, when you're making stocks and sorts of stuff like that. So what we're going to do right now is, keeping your pan on high, you're going to add your onions. And what we're going to do is we're going to have the onions sweat, and the onions on its own are basically going to help you take up all those bits and pieces of chicken from the pot. Go ahead and add your garlic so that the onion and the garlic together marry equally. And as you can see, as I'm stirring it, I'm slowly with my wooden spoon going around the pot, and I'm taking off all those little bits and pieces, all the chicken fat from the bottom of the pan, because what we want is we want to incorporate all of that into my sauce. So take your time. Once you see that the onions are beginning to sweat, you can lower your heat, and you want it kind of like on low, but not extremely low. Go ahead and add your tomatoes once your onions are almost all the way translucent, but not overcooked. Add your dry ingredients and mix well. And what we're going to do is, I like spicy food, so I'm actually going to use my entire can of chipotle peppers. If you do not like spicy food, I do not recommend for you to use the entire can. These are actually very spicy. They're flavorful, they're so tasty, but they're very spicy. And if you do use the whole can, you may not be able to eat your food if you use the whole thing like I did. So make sure that you use one or two. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the entire can, and I'm gonna fill up the can with water so that I can get the rest of the chipotle sauce out of it, and I'm going to go ahead and include it into my pan. Now, here's another little tip. If you like thick sauces, leave your sauce the way that it is. Do not do the next step. I really like to have extra broth and that caldo and that, like, those juices. I want to make more of it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a whole nother cup of water. If you have chicken stock, use the chicken stock. But I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that when I add my chicken onto my chile sauce, it's completely basically submerged underneath all of those juices. And I have a bonus if you stay to the end of my video, because I'm gonna show you guys what you guys can do if you have any leftover salsa. But once you have combined all of your ingredients, you're gonna leave them together for maybe like 5 minutes on high heat without your chicken. This is where you wanna taste it. If you feel like it needs salt, add salt. Or if you need the chicken bouillon, add a little bit more chicken bouillon. But this is where you would have to do it before you add the rest of your chicken. Now, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna grab my chicken and I'm kinda gonna tuck it into the sauce, because I want all of my chicken to be submerged as much as possible. But it's not a soup, so that's why I'm not filling it above the chicken thighs. So I don't want it to be too soupy either. So go ahead and put in your chicken, tuck it in, and the next couple steps is basically going to depend on how you want your chicken. If you want it to like basically fall off the bone, keep it on here for about 2 hours. If you want it to be just cooked, still attached to the bone, I would say another 45 minutes to an hour, because you did already sear your chicken. So it kind of just depends on your preference. But this is dark meat, so I'd like to say at least 45 minutes. Make sure that your chicken is fully cooked. And this is it, you guys. I'm gonna accompany it with rice. You can do white rice, you can do your red rice, but I chose to do a white rice con cumin. So I just added a little bit of garlic and chicken bouillon to my rice. And if you guys want a rice video, I'm gonna have to get back to you guys on that one. I'm still working on it. But basically this is it, you guys. I'm gonna accompany it with some tortillas, my chicken, and some rice. So that's it for this video, guys. I am so excited, and thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.